Hello children, today we are going to read this chapter further, that is chapter 4, nouns number. In the previous video we have already started reading this chapter, and over there we saw that if there is a noun that refers to only one person or thing, then such a noun is an example of a singular noun. And if there is a noun that refers to more than one person or thing, then such a noun is an example of a plural noun. So along with that, we also read over there that what are the various rules that we need to keep in mind while changing singular nouns into plural nouns. So today we are going to read this chapter further. So now let's begin. The following nouns have the same form in singular and plural. So you need to remember that these nouns, namely deer, sheep, fish, agenda, they have the same form in singular and plural. What do I mean by this is that when you use the word deer as a singular noun, then also you are going to use the same spelling D-E-E-R. And when you are going to use this word deer as a plural noun, then also you are going to use the same word, that is D-E-E-R. So you are going to use the same letters to form this word, that is deer. So you need to remember that these nouns, that is deer, sheep, fish, etc., they have the same form in singular and plural. So over here you can see a box that is provided over there. Use in singular and use in plural is written over there, and underneath this use in singular you can see three examples are provided. Number 1, the tiger was chasing a deer. Number 2, the sheep has given birth to a lamb. And number 3, Robbie caught a big fish yesterday. So over here nouns deer, sheep and fish, they are over here. These nouns refer to only one deer, one fish and one sheep. In the second set of examples, that is used in plural, you can see number 1, the deer were being chased by a tiger. Number 2, several sheep died in the freezing cold. And number 3, the colorful fish in the aquarium looked splendid. So in these examples, we are not talking about just one single deer, we are talking about many deer. Similarly, in number 2 example, we can see we are talking about several sheep, we are not just talking about one sheep. In number 3, we are talking about colorful fish, but you need to remember we are talking about many fish of the same kind. Note, sometimes the word fishes is also used. So you might come across the word fishes also, and over here you need to keep in mind that the singular fish suggests a single variety of fish. So the word fish, that is this word fish, suggests a singular variety of fish. But if we find the word fishes written, then we need to remember that this word fishes, that is the noun fishes, suggests different varieties of fish. So now let's read further. The plural fishes suggest different varieties. So this is what you need to keep in mind. So if there's a word fish that is being used, then we are talking about single variety of fish. And if there's a word called fishes, then you need to remember that this word fishes refers to different varieties of fish. So now let's read further. There are some nouns that name things having two main parts. Such nouns are always used in their plural form. So there are nouns, okay, that have two main parts, such as you can see scissors, trousers, jeans, tongs, spectacles, shorts, clothes, scales, pincers, binoculars. So these are what? These are nouns. These are names of things that have what? Two main parts. So such nouns are always used in their plural form. So these nouns, you need to remember, will always be followed by a plural verb. So over here you can see the scissors are not sharp. So this noun over here you can see the scissors. We are talking about scissors, the noun scissors. So the word that is scissors is being followed by a plural verb, that is are. Similarly, in the second example, you can see my jeans have become old. So over here, jeans, which is a noun, it is followed by, over here you can see a plural verb, that is have. So you need to remember that there are nouns that are the names of things that that has what that have two main parts. So these nouns will always be used in their plural form. So they will always be followed by what? A plural verb. So you can see in these examples that in these sentences, that is the scissors are not sharp and my jeans have become old. In these two sentences you can see that these nouns are being followed by a plural verb. So now let's read further. There are some nouns that are plural in form but singular in use. So when you look at these nouns, like you can look at these nouns, news, physics, economics. So when you look at these nouns, it seems like these nouns are plural. So they may be plural in form. So when you look at them, you might think that they are plural nouns, but you need to remember they are singular in use. So when you use these nouns will be followed by a singular verb. So over here you can see examples that are provided. Physics is an interesting subject. So over here physics, which is the name of subject, it's followed by a singular verb is. In the second example, you can see billiards is a game that needs concentration. So we all know billiards is the name of a game, so it is followed by a singular verb is over here. So you need to remember that some nouns may be plural in form. That is, when you look at those nouns, you might think that those are plural nouns, but in reality they will be used as singular nouns. So that's why they are followed by what? They are followed by a singular verb. Next, it is said that in both the sentences, the singular verb is has been used. So in both the sentences, in both these examples, you can see this nouns, physics and billiards. These nouns are followed by singular verb is. Most abstract nouns are not countable. They do not have a plural form. So I have already taught you what abstract nouns are. I have told you that abstract nouns cannot be seen, they cannot be smelled, they cannot be touched, they can only be felt. So here you need to remember that most of the abstract nouns are not countable. That is, you cannot count them. Now let's take the example of honesty. Can we count honesty? No, we cannot count honesty. Similarly, let me take the example of peace, P-E-A-C-E, peace. Can we count peace? No, we cannot count peace. So you need to remember that most of the abstract nouns are not countable, that they cannot be counted. They do not have a plural form. So they do not have a plural form. But however, you need to keep in mind that there are some abstract nouns that have a plural form. So you need to remember that there are some abstract nouns that also has what? That has a plural form. So over here some examples are provided, like glory, glories, decision, decisions, creation, creations, truth, truths. So what you need to keep in mind that abstract noun, some of the abstract nouns they don't have, most of the abstract nouns they don't have what? They don't have a plural form, but some of the abstract nouns they have a plural form, like we saw in this case, like glory, glories, creation, creations, decision, decisions, truth, truths. So further, let's read some nouns which are names of substances or materials like gold, silver, copper, wood, clay, aluminium are also uncountable nouns. So you need to remember that names of these are nouns. These are the names of materials or substances from which things are made. These are like examples we can see over here, like gold, silver, copper, wood, clay, aluminium are also what? These are uncountable nouns. Therefore they are used only in the singular form. So these nouns are always used in their singular form. You can see gold is an expensive metal, so you can see gold, that is the name of the material from which we can make things. So this substance from which we can make things. Over here gold is an expensive metal. You can see gold is being followed by a singular verb is. So you need to remember that they are used in the singular form, that these nouns like gold, silver, copper, wood, clay, aluminium, they are used in their singular form because they are what? Uncountable nouns. In the next example, you can see clay is used to make pottery. So here clay is also being followed by a singular verb, that is. So you need to remember that clay is also an uncountable noun and it is used in a singular form. Further, we can see there are some nouns that can be countable and uncountable. So you need to remember that certain nouns can be what? They can be countable, also they can be uncountable as well. These nouns have plural forms when they are countable. So when we use these nouns as countable, then they have their plural forms. Now see, number one, you can see the example sounds. Groaning sounds were coming from a nearby bush. So over here we are using the word sounds in its plural form. So it's being followed by a plural verb where, W-E-R-E, where. In the second example, you can see sights, S-I-G-H-T-S, sights. I saw some beautiful sights while traveling to Bombay by train. So here we are talking about some beautiful sights. So we are not talking about one sight, we are talking about many sights. Hence we are talking about some beautiful sights. So it is plural. So the word that we are using is in plural context. In the next set of examples, you can see the same nouns have singular form when they are uncountable. So the same nouns, that is sound and sights, that we had discussed just now, we had discussed about the sounds and sights, examples regarding this. Now when we use this nouns, that is sounds and sights, in their singular form, we can see over here sound. The loud sound of thunder shakes all of us. So here when we are talking about sound in this example, we are talking about one single sound. And in the second example, sight, we are talking about over here, you can see the sight of the setting sun is wonderful. So we are just talking about one single sight that we can see. So you need to remember that there are some nouns that can be used both as countable and uncountable. If these nouns have plural forms, these nouns are plural form when they are countable, and these nouns have singular form when they are uncountable. So over here, what we study today is that nouns have some of the nouns have same form in singular and plural, like deer, sheep, fish, agenda. And we also read that nouns having two main parts are plural in form, like we saw the case of scissors, trousers, jeans, tongs. So I told you over here that these nouns will always be followed by a plural verb. Next, we saw that nouns that are plural in form but singular in use. So here we saw that these nouns, when you look at these nouns like news, physics, economics, we think that these nouns are plural nouns, but in reality these nouns are used what in singular way. So it will be followed that this nouns will be followed by a singular verb. So news will be followed by a singular verb, physics will be followed by a singular verb, economics will be followed by a singular verb. Next we read that most of the abstract nouns don't have plural form, and over there I talked about honesty and peace. And later we read that some abstract nouns have plural form, and over there we discuss examples like glory, decision, creation and truth. So these were the nouns that had the plural form. Some nouns which are names of materials are uncountable nouns. Over there we read the examples of gold, silver, wood. And we also read that some nouns can be both countable and uncountable, and we saw the example of sound and sights over there. So here we have completed reading this chapter. I'll send you the exercises that I've solved the exercise and send you the answers in the next class. Thank you.